Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back with a controversial view of Begotten. This is another film I would definitely call a big one when it comes to controversial view. It has been referred to as the most sacrilegious film ever made. It's considered to be one of the most disturbing films ever made. And it is absolutely one of the most controversial movies of all time. Begotten was co-written and directed by Elias Merhige. The film never received a theatrical run, but did appear at multiple film festivals, beginning in 1989 in Canada, although it did not make its US debut until the following year, which is why many consider Begotten to be a 1990 film. I was first introduced to the existence of Begotten over 20 years ago. I saw a copy of the DVD at a local store. I did not know much about it, and back then, you couldn't just pull up the internet on your cell phone to look it up, so I left it on the shelf. But I have to admit, the image on the cover here haunted me. I kept thinking about it, so I went back to the store, and of course, the DVD was gone. The movie went out of print, and I was never able to obtain a physical copy until recently. That's why, for over 20 years, I pondered about what this movie could be. What was I missing? I had seen clips from it, and even GIFs, but I had never been able to watch the entire film. Yes, I could have just found it online and watched it there, but you know me. Physical media matters. After Jason and I developed Controversial View last year, it was a no-brainer that we'd have to cover Begotten at some point. And that point is now. It became an infamous film, and its notoriety brought it to conventions all over the country. People were able to purchase copies to finally own those grisly images in their entirety. It's a movie many horror fans want in their collections. As for this cover image, it comes from the opening sacrifice scene. And trust me when I tell you, it will stay with you. Maybe forever. Begotten is worth the hype. Would you agree? There's only one way to find out. Begotten is not only worth watching, but it's worthy of discussion. What kind of conclusions can each individual draw from it? The whole thing is intriguing to me. Some will call it pretentious. Some will say it doesn't make sense. I say maybe they just don't understand it. I mean, seriously, it's in the title. That one word says it all. Not everyone has to like it, but I do think all horror fans should see it. Now, as you know, these videos are not reviews. They are C-views. Controversial views. And, as I said, Begotten is certainly controversial. The film was shot completely in black and white, and there is no spoken dialogue whatsoever. The soundtrack consists of ambient music and nature sounds. If you were to turn Begotten on, get in bed, and close your eyes, and simply listen to it, you'd fall asleep calmly, relaxed, at peace. But if you were to open your eyes, you'd experience a waking nightmare. Begotten can best be described as nightmare fuel on celluloid. By the way, Elias Merhige literally rubbed sandpaper on the film negative to give it a more damaged look. It's art house horror, and while that's not normally a go-to genre for me, Begotten is arguably a masterpiece in that category. It's disgusting and disturbing, yet hauntingly beautiful. I couldn't look away, not just because of the visuals, but also the fact that I couldn't believe I was finally watching it. I had heard so much about it over the years, which only tempted me more and more. And now I can definitively say it did not disappoint. It is divisive, but it is cohesive. There are those who love it, and there are, of course, those who hate it. And then there are those who find it incredibly fascinating, but don't quite know what to make of it. I personally find it extremely fascinating, and I do love it. I know it's odd, but there's something about this film that really drew me in. Maybe it was because of the ambient sounds, but I was very relaxed while watching it. Of course, the brutal imagery contrasts that. That experience of watching Begotten alone is controversial. Deeply religious movie watchers will also likely find it controversial. The religious theme, spanning multiple religions and allegories, can be tough to watch. Some might describe Begotten as not following a linear plot, but I would strongly disagree. It's unconventional, but there is absolutely a story to follow. And it's an age-old story, just brought to life in a disturbing manner. There is God sacrificing himself through disembowelment, making way for the birth of Mother Earth. Then she impregnates herself in graphic fashion. Yes, Begotten does feature explicit full frontal nudity, and there is even some penetration. Then there is the resurrection of God with the birth of his son, and plenty more brutality on the path to what is hopefully a better world thanks to sacrifice. I could say a lot more about this one, but I feel I've already said too much. Begotten is not just a controversial film, it's an experience that should be experienced. At least once. But truthfully, it may not be for you, and that's fine. Jason and I watched it, so you don't have to. This is just my controversial view. Please be sure to check out Jason's as well to hear what he has to say about Begotten. Have you seen it? If so, what do you think of it? Comment below and let me know. Which controversial movie will we view next? Check back soon to find out. But until then, remember, physical media matters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind. Subscribe.